Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. I work out.
Hi, we're here with Viveca. She teaches basically about body conditioning for common pole injuries. She's going to teach us how to prevent them, or if you already have them, how to work with them. And we have Jamaal as our demonstration.
Hi. Okay, so basically one of the things that you want to keep in mind is that there are several injuries that are common in pole dancers. Shoulder injuries, back injuries, hip flexor and hamstring injuries are the 4 main injuries. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show Jamaal how to do a proper pull-up, because the back and the core are the 2 strongest parts that you need when doing pole dancing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started. I want you to climb up to the top. You want your arms to be a little wider than shoulder distance apart. You're going to engage through your core. And what I want is, I don't want you to grip and a closed grip with your fingers. I want you to release your thumbs. And you're going to focus on engaging through your back, like dropping through the shoulders and pulling up through the back first, and then following through with your arms. So go ahead and release your feet. Keep your abs tight. Drop through the shoulder blades and flex your back. Go ahead and drop. So that's 1. Lower down, drop and flex again. And pull up. That's 2. Okay, so come down and I'll explain the difference. The reason that I had him release his thumb is because a lot of times when people have a closed grip for the pole, for pull-ups, they often use their forearms, and they shift from using their back to the forearm muscle. What you want is, you want your back to engage most of your activity with the pull-up. You want the strength and the movement to come from the back as opposed to the forearm. If your grip is closed, then you're going to pull through your forearm. If your grip is open, then it forces you to use your fingers as hooks, and it forces you to engage your lats more. So you're going to get more of a initial engagement through the back, and then your arms become the follow-through. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
So that's what we were doing. Another thing that I want you to keep in mind is that because your back does the majority of the work, it prevents your shoulders from getting as many injuries. So you always want to make sure that whatever you're doing, whether you're inverting or you're pulling up, you're engaging through your back muscles first, okay? And then that's going to alleviate a lot of the shoulder injuries that you might have. But if you do have shoulder injuries, a couple of things that you can do are things that are rotator cuff related.
Okay, so what is it that Jamaal should be doing here?
So what Jamaal is going to be doing is he's going to be doing some exercises to help strengthen his rotator cuff to prevent injuries during pole dancing exercises. A couple of things he wants to do. This first one is rotator cuff rotating upward. The tube is causing the resistance. You want to make sure your arm is at a 90-degree angle. So that means that from your shoulder to your elbow, it's parallel to the floor. And then from your elbow to your hand is also parallel to the floor, but it forms that nice 90-degree angle, okay? From there, he's going to keep the shoulder in place and lift up, rotating through the elbow only. You don't want to cock your wrist at the top. You want to keep it nice and straight. A lot of the resistance is lost in the joint when you cock your wrist. But if you keep it straight, then it really forces you to use the actual muscle group that you're training. So go ahead and pull up again. Keep your abs nice and tight and lower down. And again, pull up and lower down. A couple of things that you want to keep in mind. You want to keep those shoulder blades engaged so that when you lower down, your arms don't rotate forward, or the movement of the shoulder doesn't come forward, that it stays nice in a parallel line. Okay, the next exercise that I'm going to have him do is going to be the reverse of that. It's still training the same muscle group, but it's training it in a different angle at a different plane. A lot of people what people need to realize is one of the best ways to train your muscles is to train them at different angles so that you get more of a developed muscle. So we're coming now, the resistance is coming forward. So what he's going to do is, again, he's starting at that 90-degree angle. He's going to lift up. That's the relaxed position. And as he pulls down, he should feel that resistance in the shoulder again. Okay? First we did forward to back. Now we're going back to forward. Again, keeping your abs engaged, keeping those shoulders from rotating forward and back. You're just moving through the forearm. Okay? So those are 2 really good rotator cuffs that you can do. The reason that I'm having him use a tube as opposed to weights is because with a weight, when you travel through range of motion, if it's not some type of a machine with a cam or an actual resistance like this, you lose the amount of weight that you're using depending on the angle that you're at. You don't want you want the line of gravity to be in alignment with the muscle group that you're working, basically. So what we're going to do now is the third exercise I'm going to have him do. Again, it's going to be for the rotator cuff, but you're having a closed chain resistance. Keep your elbow in, and what you're going to do is, again, you're moving from the forearm to the hand. You're opening up, opening as wide as you can, keeping that elbow in, and then you're closing. Watch your wrist. You don't want to cock or have any type of movement in the wrist as you pull. So go ahead and pull in again. Watch the wrist. You see how you're cocking? Try to keep it nice and straight. Try it again. Keep the abs nice and tight. Rotate and close. Rotate and close. One more. Rotate and close. And then the final one, again, you want to work front to back. So now he's going to turn around and do the back. It's the same thing. You're going to keep it where it is. No. Same hand. Pulling in, now you're opening and pulling in. So now you're working more of the front part before he was working more of the back part. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And again, keeping your abs tight. The reason that I like resistance bands and light weights for pole dancers is because you get that resistance that you need, but it doesn't put a lot of muscle on you. It still allows you to be flexible and move in space. With a lot of like serious weight training, it can kind of immobilize you and limit your range of motion. With the bands, it doesn't happen. So that's why I recommend like tubes, bands, body resistance for pole dancers. Okay?
Thank you so much. We've learned a lot about body conditioning. Now, where exactly can we find and learn from you where you're teaching?
I'm teaching here at Fly Fitness. I usually teach on Mondays at 11:15 and 12:15. One is a pole dancing class. It's level 1. One is a total body conditioning class, which is where you can get exercises like this and other exercises for your total body. And I also am teaching at another studio called Titan Fitness, where you can get like full body exercises as well. If you want to reach me, I have a fan page called Muscle Can Be, Muscle Is. It's on Facebook. And basically what the page is about encouraging women to become more active through strength training, dancing, and playing sports. So look for me on that. Look for the interviews. We have a lot of cool things coming up on that. And I hope to hear from you guys. Bye.
Girl, look at that body. I work out. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. I work out when I walk in the spot. This is what I see. Everybody stops and is staring at me. I got passion in my pants and I ain't afraid to show it. Show it, show it, show it. I'm sexy and I know it.